All right, everybody, real quick before this episode of the podcast starts, I wanted to, once again, for whatever the number of the time, do another little disclaimer, just to say, hopefully this first part of the episode didn't ruffle anyone's feathers too much, because this is just a podcast, as you all know, where I share my opinions. And I'm just trying to share them in a realistic way, in a way that I feel like most people would see it as, in a realistic way. So, yeah. I know how some people are, but we're going to ignore those people. So, yes. So, with that being said, let's get on to the actual episode. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Anything and Everything podcast, episode 23. And it's literally taken me almost an hour to set all of this shit up. I'm not kidding, because I have no idea what I'm doing. I still don't. Still don't after 23 episodes. Still don't know what I'm doing after all that time. Welcome back to episode 23. And we are currently, at least in the U.S., finally in the middle of fall. Finally. Like, actually finally. But it's very warm in here. Like, it's at least 80 degrees in this room right now because my computer gives off a metric fuck ton of heat. I don't need a heater in my room. I just need to leave my computer on because this computer gives off a metric fuck ton of heat. So it's like 80 degrees in this room, which is why I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. The first topic I wanted to get onto for today is something that's more or less, well, I guess I can't say that anymore because, more, hint, more, that's a hint. Because he's technically running for U.S. Senate, but, he's from Alabama. No surprise there. But, as you can pretty much figure, we're going to be talking about good old Southern boy. Ain't never done nothing wrong because he's a Southern boy. Can't do no wrong because he's Jesus' right hand man. He's John the Baptist reincarnate. Roy Moore, our former Supreme Court chief, or Supreme Court justice, or whatever the fuck it was. So yes, the man is in the news once again. And this also ties in with the other things I'm going to be talking about. He's in the news because as far as I know, as of right now, 5 separate women, accused him of sexually harassing them, sexually assaulting them, and other things while they were teenagers. Oh, Lord. As in, between, I believe 14 and 18 or something like that. I'm serious. You can look it up. It's in the news. Which, on the one hand, I can believe it because Roy Moore is just fucking crazy. And I already didn't like him before this happened. As I've stated, I already didn't like him. But this just adds a whole new level of hatred to him. If he has in fact done what these women have accused him of doing, that is. Because, of course, as of right now, that's pretty much the thing now. Pretty much every old white man is being accused of sexually harassing somebody, sexually assaulting somebody, or other things related to misogyny, including pretty much every old white man in Hollywood. And I mean every single fucking old white man in Hollywood. Tom Hanks, James Woods, but pretty much every old white man in Hollywood is pretty much being accused of sexually assaulting somebody. Which, okay, I'm gonna start off by saying a very, 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 very controversial thing. This all relates back to the Me Too hashtag. That was the hashtag on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think it started out as a good symbol. It started out as a good thing, for women to say, to show support if they've been sexually assaulted or sexually harassed or other things like that. But I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like, all of these Hollywood actresses, and I kind of feel like a good portion of them might be lying about it. Because yes, I imagine it's more common than people would like to think. Even I can believe that. I'm sure it's quite common. But to the extent that everybody's making it out to be, I kind of find that hard to believe. I kind of found it hard to believe that it's just an epidemic. And more so with the whole Hollywood thing. I don't know. That's all. I've always been skeptical of that ever since it happened. Those people are actors. Therefore, they are pretty much trained to fake shit. Fake emotions, fake talking about shit, whatever. So those are Hollywood actors we're talking about. Hollywood actresses. So that's what makes me kind of skeptical. I feel like they could just be acting this all out. Not to say that it's not happening, obviously, because, come on, I think we can all pretty much figure that and agree that misogyny and sexual assault and sexual harassment are all horrible, horrible things. I think everyone can agree on that. I don't think, okay, there are people who would disagree with me because they're assholes, but I think most people would agree with me. So I'm not saying it didn't happen. Hell, all of this shit could have happened. Hollywood could be just one big shit ring full of pedophiles and rapists and misogynists. It could be one big misogyny ring. I don't fucking know. It could be. I don't know. But I'm just a bit skeptical because think about who we're talking about here. We're talking about actors. All right, so I figured I should just interject real quick and clarify this because I know I'm going to get some shit for this episode. But what I'm referring to in this portion of the episode is Hollywood specifically. As in, I'm just kind of skeptical because it just seems weird that all of a sudden Hollywood, of all places, would just suddenly erupt in all of these accusations of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and things like that. And another point is that I didn't make in the episode, but I'm going to make here. Do you notice how it's all older Hollywood actors? As in the Hollywood actors in their 50s, 60s, 70s. You notice that? Or is that just me? You notice how it's not ever anyone younger than fucking 50? You notice that? You notice there aren't any actors in their 20s or 30s or the such that are getting any accusations. That's where I'm kind of skeptical. Because if it was as much a problem as they claim it is, why aren't there any actors in their 20s, 30s, 40s getting all of these accusations? Why is it all older to elderly Hollywood actors? I don't know. Perhaps I'm just the only one who notices that. But hey, maybe somebody else does too. So that's what I'm trying to get at in this little point here. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm talking about how Hollywood's going about it specifically. I think Hollywood's taking this whole Me Too hashtag thing out of proportion. I feel like Hollywood is using this hashtag to, I don't know, falsely accuse a lot of these actors, especially Tom Hanks, because I think he was somebody somewhere out there named Tom Hanks, I think. Tom Hanks? Really? Tom Hanks. I'm sorry, but I just don't see Tom Hanks as the kind of person who'd be some kind of gigantic asshole and that would do some stuff like that. I'm sorry. I just don't see Tom Hanks as the kind of man who would do some stuff like that. Sorry, that might just be me. I don't see it. I don't buy it. There are some of these actors I can see how they could do stuff like this. Like Harvey Weinstein. Apparently, as of now, people have admitted, apparently, it was actual common knowledge that Harvey Weinstein was a total fucking creep, according to what I read. But as far as the other actors like Tom Hanks and James Woods, which somebody else named, I don't know, somebody named him. Does anyone have any proof that these guys have done anything like that? Does anyone out there have any proof that these guys have done this? Because I would imagine that's the most important thing. Proof. I would imagine proof would be a good thing to have in this kind of situation. Because if you don't have any proof, then you're basically forcing people to pick sides, which I don't like to do. I don't like picking sides on anything, because that starts a whole other world of shit. That's the point I'm trying to make with this. I figured I'd just clarify it so as to not stir up a possible hornet's nest, metaphorically speaking. They're trained to fake shit. So who's to say they aren't faking it now? Just a thought. And good luck. And if you're pissed about that, good luck trying to dig up anything on me. You literally won't find shit on me. If there's some crazy person out there that wants to try to dig up shit on me to see if I've done anything like that, you won't. You literally won't find shit on me. You can search me in every name database on the internet and you won't find shit. So that leads me into Roy Moore, who, like I said, has had 5 women so far come out and say that he sexually assaulted them, sexually harassed them, touched them in other sexual ways when they were teenagers. Or rather, he was 32 and they were teenagers, but you get what I mean. And this was all like in the 70s, 80s, and such like that. So I don't know anything about the man past. I don't know anything about the man prior to 2010. I don't know anything about the man prior to 2010. Other than the fact that he got kicked off of the Alabama Supreme Court the first time in 2003 for refusing to remove a Ten Commandments statue from the front lawn or something of the Supreme Court building. That's all I know about him prior to 2010. And I personally don't like Roy Moore because of how homophobic he is. I thought he was the most homophobic, old, wrinkly piece of shit in this entire state. That's what I thought about him. But that's just me, as a young person. But then again, a lot of folks don't like Roy Moore for that reason. So, I've not read into it too much, so I don't know if there's any evidence anybody has come out with to prove that he's raped anybody or anything like that. I believe it did happen. I believe it did happen. I personally believe this all happened. I do believe Roy Moore is capable of raping people, raping women, whatever the fuck. I believe it's possible. Because my dad used to work for the Sears company. Sears. He used to oversee like the technicians that would go fix people's shit. He claims that Roy Moore's wife would call the Sears technicians over to fix something that was broken, only to then accuse them of trying to rape her or some shit. My dad told me that's what some of the technicians told him. But that wasn't even the most cringy part of that. The cringiest part was apparently my dad told me the technicians would claim that she would stand over them, walk up to them and stand over them in a skirt. We're talking about a 50, 60, 70-something-year-old woman. I don't want to picture some 60-something-year-old woman in a skirt standing over me while I'm trying to work. That's a disgusting picture. I'm sorry. As a 22-year-old, that's disgusting to me. I'm sorry. I don't want to picture seeing some old lady's granny panties. No, thank you. I'd rather see women my own age in panties and otherwise. And if I want to do that, I can just go to a porn site. I want to think about women in their 20s in their underwear. I want to think about that I'm a 22-year-old single male. Of course, that's going to be what I would be thinking about. Not an old wrinkly woman in her underwear. That's disgusting. And I might throw up my breakfast. Oh, no, Lord. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that bit. So yes. So apparently a lot of people who have actually met the Moores and the Sears technicians and stuff, they're all just batshit fucking crazy. Apparently. And one of Roy Moore's sons, however many he has, one of his kids, his son, got in trouble for marijuana possession and something else. I think driving with a suspended license or something like that. Even though your daddy's the head of the Alabama Supreme Court, apparently that means you can do whatever the damn fuck you want to. Which you can't do that, obviously. All right, everybody, we're back. Got my internet and shit fixed, so that's good. But we're back. Back to what I was saying beforehand. So I think we can all pretty much agree that Roy Moore and his entire clan are fucked up. I think we can all pretty much agree on that. Me personally, I believe that the man could actually have done the shit that these women are accusing him of. I do think that he would have been more than capable of doing so. The question is now, did he do it? I don't know. I get pretty much at this point, it's these women's words against his. Not sure what'll come of that. I just thought it was worth mentioning because I've said numerous times that I do not like Roy Moore whatsoever. I think he's batshit crazy, and if he gets into the United States Senate, will be physically forced to stand and say the pledge and then stand and say Bible verses. If that's how he sees the only chance of getting us back to good old American values, then he'll probably do it. He'll do that by any means. But we're going to move on from Roy Moore. Just very briefly, because I think it's actually more funny than anything. I want to do something funny now to move on from the seriousness. But I wanted my next topic to be, I was in my history course the other day. The history course I'm taking in college. And this is just something I thought funny. So, as you can imagine, there were people tip-tapping away on their phones, doing this. On their laptops, doing this. And people just going... I sound like a cat. I sound like a cat. I sound like a purring cat for some reason. But people basically doing that. Like falling asleep. Okay, I can't say falling asleep because I was falling asleep as well, so I don't want to be hypocritical. And basically people just putting their heads down like they really, really didn't want to be there. Which I thought was funny because then the professor got pissed off and told people if they wanted to put their heads down and act uninterested and be on their phones and such, just go ahead and leave. Oh, and actually, somebody did legitimately get up and leave the room. As in, some dude just got up and walked out the classroom. And the professor was staring at him the entire time, just glaring at him like, "You lazy little shit," because you really can't get in trouble for that. This isn't high school. They can't do anything to you for falling asleep. As far as I know. Or acting uninterested. They can't really do anything because, I don't know. I just thought it was funny because, look, I'll admit this. The college history course I'm in right now, it's the most generally basic ass college course you could ever take if you know your history, or your American history at least. It's the most basic history course in the fucking world. So it's all shit that I already fucking know. So it's all shit that I've already known about. So it's not super interesting. Plus, the professor just talks for an hour and 10 minutes. But here's the thing. I've always wondered why the people who obviously look like they don't want to fucking be there, then why are they there? Anybody else out there that's in college, you'll know what I'm talking about. You have those people who just either complain about the class the entire time, roll their eyes at everything, and they just act like they really don't want to fucking be there. I've always thought that I guess it's because they really don't want to be there, but their parents are making them go to a college. Their parents are making them go to college, so they're basically forced to be there, which is the worst possible thing you could do ever. Because, of course, if people are being forced to go to a college, if you feel like you're forced to do anything, you're going to put in the least amount of effort possible. I don't know. That's what I've always thought. I've always wondered why. That's what I've always thought to myself. If you people are that uninterested and bored and just hate, you just have that much of a hatred for the place, then why are you there? Or they think it's going to be some kind of crazy shit. I guess they think it'll be like Animal House, which it's not, because Animal House was just that, a movie that was only slightly based in reality. I'm sure there are some places where shit gets as crazy as it did in Animal House, because I've seen Animal House. I'm sure there are some places where it gets that fucking nuts, but there are literally no colleges in Alabama that I've been to yet where it's gotten anywhere near that crazy. That could just be Alabama, though. Maybe we're just that chill. Hell yeah! No college I've been to yet has gotten anywhere near that crazy in any regard. So yes. But then you get there and you realize, oh, it's boring as shit and not very exciting at all. Especially a community college, which is what I attend. It's literally, I do see where some people say it's like an extension of high school. I can see where people kind of get that, because you basically go in, sit in on a class for between an hour to 2 or so hours. Then you get up and leave and then go to the next class. So I can see how that could be monotonous and boring and mundane, but I'm just going to say it. If you don't want to do college, then just don't do it. Your job options are going to be limited. Your financial improvement is going to be limited, but hey, if you really just want to stay at home and be on your phone all day or party all the time, which is stupid, but whatever, or just sleep all day, just don't enroll in a college, dude. Just don't fucking enroll in a college. Just stay at home all day. I do it all the time. On the days I don't have classes. On the days I don't have classes, I just stay home all the time and don't do a damn thing. Okay, look, all I'm saying is you could put a little bit more effort into it, okay? It's not that difficult. Usually. Mostly. You could have a little less laziness. It's not that difficult. Okay, sometimes it is, but usually not that difficult. So I think I know what pie I'm going to make. I think I will be making my peanut pie. Either that or the transparent pie. I want to look at the ingredients list. One of the two of those pies. Because they'll be easy. They're the easiest pies. And I'll get back to you all with a cooking video on that. Because I'll have a lav mic. And I'll be able to get decent sound in the said cooking video without having to use the onboard camera mic or having to hold my freaking Zoom H1. I won't have to hold anything. I won't have to use the onboard camera mic that sucks. I'll be able to hook up a lav mic to myself, and I'll have pretty decent audio to use, and I can freely move about. So yes. So watch out for a cooking video for that. So I know this episode was a bit slow. I know it probably wasn't the most interesting of episodes because it was slow, but oh well. Not every episode can be super interesting and stuff. So hopefully you all enjoyed the video anyway. And if you did, you guys on SoundCloud can like the track, comment on the track, because I know you guys can do it. And you guys on YouTube can thumbs up the video, thumbs down the video, comment on the video, whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever you want. Do whatever the fuck you want in your life. I don't care. Unless it's illegal. Don't do anything illegal because it's illegal and you'll go to jail. And bad things will happen to you when you go to jail. And your entire life will be ruined. So yes, the more you know. Cue the little star thing. Duh. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I will see you for next week's episode. See you guys.